Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Davey Deathray here. Hope you guys are having a lovely, lovely evening. It is Wednesday, August 12th, just after 10 p.m. Eastern. How about that? And guys, this time around for little late night with the Davey action, we are going to jump into some horror news. It's been a couple weeks and we've got some stuff that I think is worth jumping into. Most of it is like really cool celebratory things, or just like, hey, this is awesome, let's have a chat about this. A couple of the things, like one of these items, I'm like, I'm gonna need your guys' help because I have no idea what the fuck Jeff the Killer is. I thought it was just a meme based on the girl that was like, leave Britney alone or whatever, or the what's the other meme? No, the girlfriend that's like super obsessed with you, that girl's face looks like the Jeff the Killer face. So I don't know, I have no idea about that, but we're gonna talk a little bit about that. I'm also gonna get grumpy. I am. Jamie, whenever you jump in, Jamie, I'm so sorry. But we've got another one of those monster TV shows for Netflix or whatever. They're doing a Lizzie Borden thing and some other stuff. And these fuckers just can't stop fucking around and like making shit up and celebrating these people that are, you know, they're calling them monsters, but they're celebrating them and exaggerating about them and just like turning them into these mythological characters. And in some cases, hiring attractive actors to play them that, you know, not really making the effort to really make it as ugly as possible. And yeah, I'll get into it. But this Ryan Murphy guy, he's a weird one, and we're gonna talk a little bit about that today. So thank you guys so very much for joining me. Hit the like button if you haven't already. Subscribe if you haven't already. All that kind of good stuff. If you're watching after the fact, jump into the comments. Just feel free to give me any of your thoughts on the news we're covering here, or maybe there's a story that I missed out on, or something that you're interested in that you'd like to see me cover here. Just let me know in the comments. All that kind of good stuff. Hype the video if you're watching after the fact and you really dig what we do here. We're like right on the cusp of hitting that 3,200 mark. Nothing to celebrate, but just, you know, I keep an eye on these things because it's my channel, so I just notice those things. So about to turn the corner on one of those numbers here, or turn the dial as it were. And yeah, just want this community to grow and you know, get as big and awesome as possible. So I'm going to jump in and say what's up to you guys, and then we're just going to dive into the news. We are just going to get into it. Let's see here. I was going to say, oh yeah, I do have a super chat goal. If you guys want to hang out for like a second hour, I was thinking I'm just going to knock out these news stories. But if you want to kick around and talk about whatever, we can just go ahead and jump in and do that kind of thing. Let's see here. I'm going to say what's up to you guys, and we're going to get going. Lamontre, what's happening? Hope you are doing well. So good to see you. Prince, what's happening? That wasn't what I told. I just wanted it to look like a, what did I tell Copilot? Well, I give it a picture every single time to base it off of. And I think I said newscaster, blue suit. I want it to look like a sketch with some rough edges, and I want it to have like a horror kind of vibe. So there you go, Prince. There you go. What's happening, Antonis, one of our great channel members. Paula Fitzhenry, another one of our great channel members. Hollywood Lito, yet another channel member. How are y'all doing? What's happening, Wicked Pinto? Welcome on in. Hope you're doing very well. Derek, how are you doing, Derek? Welcome, welcome. We got Media Poop Shoot, our guy Joe, one of my good friends. Can I say good friends? Well, we go out to movies and we chit chat about stuff. Yeah. I'd say as far as people I actually know in real life, yes, I know Joe in real life. Channel member, Death Squad mod, all that kind of good stuff. Check out Media Poop Shoot if you haven't yet. I think we're going to go check out, what the hell is it called? The House at the End of the Street. Some of these movies, they have names that like I just will never remember your name. I don't know what to tell you. We got Paula Fitzhenry dropping a $5 super chat. She wants to Eddie Munson that goal. All right, Paula, thank you so very much, miss. You're too sweet. Let's see here. Who else do we have here? Holy cow, Media Poop Shoot celebrating 8 months of channel membership. That is amazing. Christine, welcome on in. I hope you're doing very, very well. Brian Claudio, how are you doing, Brian? Welcome, welcome. Yeah, I think I kind of laid it out. I think if you look at the thumbnail and you read, you know, the description, you kind of know what I got for you tonight, but also there's always going to be an X factor, right, Brian? We got Tia Nina, one of our great channel members. How are you doing, Tia? Welcome, welcome. The Man Collects and the Man Chats as well. Welcome, welcome. Adrian James, how are you doing? Zach popping in to say hello. Thank you so much, Zach. Make sure you hit that like button as well, right? Let's see here. What else do we got going on here? Ryan Michael dropping a $4.99, a fiver. Ryan, so good to see you, man. I know you've been super busy lately. Guys, Ryan is one of our channel members, but he's also a buddy of mine that I've known for years. Oh my gosh, Ryan, it's over 10 years at this point that we've known each other. So that's pretty wild, man. I hope all is well. I'll have to get back on our chat here later on tonight once I hop off here. All right, what else do we got here? I mean, I'm not an expert, but I did like 5 minutes of reading and I was like, already this description of this show sounds way inaccurate. And like, yeah, I guess I get it. You have to hire somebody that is like, that people want to look at. The actress that they hired, like she, in so many ways, she doesn't look like Lizzie Borden at all. Like they absolutely could have hired an actress that would have had like the body type and the look and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, I don't know. Ryan Murphy's obsessed with sex, so he's always going to hire the sexiest people he can, I guess. I don't know. Yeah, I just can't get behind all of them. You guys know how I feel about it. I just think it's way too much. Like it is idolization of these people that are monsters. Like I think it's fun to like celebrate Michael Myers and Jason Voorhees, like made up shit, you know. I don't like the idea of like, why be untruthful about Ed Gein? Why not just be truthful? Why be untruthful about Jeffrey Dahmer? Why not just be truthful? Like these stories are wild and wildly, like there is entertainment there because of the fascination. So why don't they just give us the real story? I don't know. Why does everyone stream on Wednesday? I just left the Lost River Drive-In and right before that was Night Watch. Well, I mean, a lot of people, like I think Night goes live many times a week. So yeah. I think when I picked Wednesday, welcome on in, by the way, Ryan, one of our great channel members. When I picked Wednesday at the time, I didn't notice that people were going live regularly on Wednesday. I picked Wednesday because I was like, my channel was really small. I wanted to have guests on the channel. And I was like, well, middle of the week, I just noticed that a lot of like the channels that I watched and buddies and stuff like that, they weren't going live on Wednesdays. And I thought middle of the week, maybe that could be my spot. And I could be like 10 p.m. in the middle of the week. So I don't know. I bet some people just go live because it hits them and they just want to go live, right? Other people go live because that's when they could have their guest on or they could talk about whatever. And then there might be some people out there that go live or are instructed to go live at the same time I'm live, because some people don't like me out there, Ryan. It's true. I still get harassed, and twice already this month, somebody's tried to hack into my Instagram account. So hi, how's it going, Secret Watchers? How are you guys doing? I'm sure you could do something better with your lives. I'm sure you could. Like, I believe in you, and I'm the person that you're harassing. So if the person that you're harassing, if the person that you want to turn into a victim is telling you that they want something better for you, then that says something about you, doesn't it? Let's see here. Who else do we have here? Jared Arnold, one of our great channel members. What's happening? Jared, we got Timbo Slice in the chat as well. Daniel, how are you doing? Daniel, welcome on in. I could do both. I'm going to run. I would love to run for office. I would fuck shit up in the best possible way. Oh yeah, it would be great. People would freak the fuck out. What's happening, Izzy? What's up, Davey Big Dog and Chad? Happy Wednesday to you all. Right back at you, bud. Thank you so very much. I see Scream. I'm already invested. Well, we are gonna get into it. Wicked Pinto dropping a $5. I believe that's Australian. I will just talk in the chat. Here's some buckage. Thank you so very much, Wicked Pinto. Appreciate you, man. Let's see here. Yeah, I mean, I get it. Like, it doesn't always, but it's like we're at the point now we've told these stories multiple times and we still can't get those little things right. And especially in the case of what Ryan Murphy's doing, the way that they present that show, every time they put out one of those seasons, the way they present it is like, hey guys, we're giving you the real story, you know, but the people walk away and grant, like, whatever, it's a shared responsibility on the audience and the creators, of course. But if you're letting your audience walk away thinking that they've learned something about these people, then that's a failure on the creative side, you know? But again, I guess I haven't seen that. You guys let me know if you've seen one of those episodes or any of those shows. Do they let you know at the very beginning? Or are they like, hey, like 30% of this is real and the rest we just fucking made up because we thought it would be cool for a show? Well, I don't know. Probably. I don't think so. I think that is giving the government and the serial killers too much credit. But maybe, Daniel. I don't know the truth. You know, well, maybe I do and I don't know it. What's happening, Gory? Welcome on in, man. Hope you're doing very, very well. Welcome on in. We got Brock Savage. I'd vote for Davey 2028. Yeah, just give me one term. And I'm gonna do the common sense stuff. It is gonna be amazing. You want common sense? I'm not even gonna tell you how I won't even say how I feel on the issues. I'll be all John Kerry about it. Like, I'm not gonna tell you where I really stand, but I'll talk some shit. Yeah, for sure. All right, guys, let's go ahead and jump into the horror news. By the way, thank you all so much for hanging out. It's amazing, especially Ryan, with you letting me know who else was live. Like, I think Nick from the Lost River Drive-In is awesome. Like, I love his content and everything. The fact that we still have some people that are coming over here hanging out, amazing. You guys are incredible. So thank you all so very dude, Ryan, that would be amazing. Ryan, the president and vice president are getting matching horror movie tattoos, and they're wanting you, the public, to vote on where they put it and which icon they get. Now, we just want to keep you up to date. The vice president does have a thorn tattoo from Halloween 5/Halloween, The Curse of Michael Myers. And the president does have a 13 tattoo, but it is not really attributed to any particular film. That's my best, like, Tom Brokaw mixed with everyone else that I grew up watching. It's like, it doesn't sound as drunk as Tom Brokaw. Tom Brokaw was always like, oh, I feel like I need a drink. It's like about to pass out. Let's see here. Well, thank you, Ryan. I appreciate you. Hey, you know, we have an awesome group of people here in the chat, and then, you know, it's not to say any, like, I have plenty of lives where it's just sort of aimless. In fact, what I've been doing for the last 13 minutes and 46 seconds has been kind of aimless. But I think one of the ways that I try to just sort of retain people and keep people coming back is just by, you know, I go live a lot, but trying to make sure that when I go live, there's like, hey guys, we're actually going to do something. So speaking of doing something, I was almost going to quote Land of the Dead, but I'm like, can I remember the quote? When the big Samoan guy is like, what did he say? He's like, I show up wanting to do something. Why are we all standing around? Why don't we do something? It's just this really, it's got this rhythm and the repetition of the, why don't we do something, the do something. I don't know. Anyways, I won't quote Land of the Dead, but I fucking love Land of the Dead. So there you go. Okay, guys, let's jump on into it. We're going to start with the Scream stuff. I know what people want to see. I know what you guys want. So I'm going to put this up on the stage. There are a couple little pieces of Scream news here, guys. I mean, this one is pretty chill, right? David Arquette takes Scream on tour this October for Slasher's 30th anniversary. And there he is. There's our guy, David Arquette. A little very letterboxed picture of David Arquette. This October, Scream icon David Arquette is taking Wes Craven's classic slasher on a behind the Scream multi-city tour for its 30th anniversary. How about that? And this is an opportunity, guys. See the original 1996 slasher classic on the big screen this Halloween. See, I've never seen the original Scream on the big screen. I saw, you know, a bunch of the sequels in the theater, but I missed that first one. It had such a short run. I wasn't even old enough to go to it by myself, and there wasn't any buzz until, like, you know, after. Like, we didn't get like all the pre-buzz the way that we get now. So guys, not only are you going to be able to watch Scream for its 30th anniversary, but after the screening, David Arquette will take the stage to share behind-the-scenes stories, anecdotes, and insights on the impact the film has had on his career and the horror industry. Also expect a Q&A, giving fans a chance to have their burning questions answered. How many people do you think are going to ask questions that are about not the first Scream movie? Everyone's going to bring these questions that aren't just like limited to the first Scream, which sure, it's fair, right? It's the 30th anniversary of the film, also the 30th anniversary of the franchise. Okay, I totally get it. But how many of these, like, who killed you in Scream 5? Was it really Stu kind of questions is David Arquette going to have to field? I would love to be the moderator for that chat. That would be pretty fun. A limited number of VIP tickets are available for Behind the Scream, which offers access to the venue's best seats and an exclusive post-show photo op with David Arquette. Now, guys, I've never met David Arquette, but by all accounts, I've heard he is extremely friendly, very kind. He was at Mad Monster, not this time, but last year, last July, and his line, oh my God, like him and I think it was like Brad Dourif were like right next to each other. Like, why did they put these guys right next to each other? Their lines were like going down the middle of the convention hall. It was just like, what's happening? So we all know about Scream, follows an offbeat group of high schooler friends and blah, blah, blah. I don't need to tell you guys the plot, but check out this really cool listing of, you know, towns and cities that they've got here. What's really cool is I do see some bigger cities, but I also see some smaller places. So maybe some of these are like at a college campus, you know, this one, Roanoke, Virginia, it's at the Performing Arts Theater. That might be like a college campus thing, these performing arts. New Jersey, Jacksonville, Florida, a couple dates in South Dakota. That's really cool. Not one date in Arizona where I live, but 2 dates in South Dakota. Yeah, Akron. So you got, you know, the whole Midwest right there, and then hitting the Southwest, but not hitting my neck of the woods in the Southwest. But still, that's quite a few days. So through 8th through the 31st, and it looks like there's a couple days off here. He's taken like 3 days off, 4 days off in this whole mess of tour dates. Maybe they will add a little some extra shows in on those spots. But yeah, guys, there it is, Behind the Scream. Oh my God, it's like David Arquette doesn't have a shirt on right there. He's just topless, Behind the Scream with topless David Arquette. I wonder how many people are going to ask him about like, why did you have a Hitler haircut in Scream 7? That would be the question I'd ask. Like, whose decision was that? A Kevin decision to give you that weird ass haircut with your, you know, everything going on? It was just an odd look. It was very odd. But anyways, guys, yeah, just a little bit of Scream news there for the original film celebrating 30 years. And then I want to switch gears and talk a little bit about Scream 8 with you guys. We're going to go on over to comicbookmovie.com. I just want to make sure this still looks good over there for you guys. Oh my God, I'm in a circle. I love being in the circle. So yeah, guys, a little bit of news here. Shout out to T. Parker Evans, one of our community members here. He's, you know, popping up all over the place in the horror community. He shot me a couple like images, like a couple like tweets basically, because there's been talk here about the Soska sisters, you know, potentially being the directors for Scream 8. So, you know, right now it's just speculation. Nothing has been like official, but the way that the Soska sisters are responding makes me think that maybe at least those talks are happening, right? Like perhaps nothing has been like solidified, but maybe they're in the running. So here at comicbookmovie.com from Mark Cassidy, they've got an article here that says, following the record-breaking box office success of Scream 7, it was only a matter of time before we got word on the next installment of the long-running slasher franchise. And back in April, the trades confirmed that Scream 8 is officially moving forward with a new writing team attached. As previously reported, Spyglass and Paramount Pictures have enlisted Lila, I don't even know, with 2 L's, Lila and Nora Zuckerman to pen the project, and we may now have word on the directing duo that could be stepping behind the camera. Following David Reichman's claim that the studio is quote, close to signing a director for Scream 8, Jen and Sylvia Soska, better known as the Soska sisters, shared the following post on X. So this is I believe this is, gosh, is that French or is that Portuguese from this account on Twitter? But the translated version, I think I have it pulled up here. The translated version says, Spyglass is reportedly closing negotiations with the Soska sisters to take over directing the next installment in the Scream horror franchise. The Twisted Twins are said to have met secretly with studio executives this week. So the fact that they're sharing here their, you know, eye emoji, double eye emoji, on this tweet that talks about how they had this secret meeting, to me, that's sort of like them saying, we can't say that we did, but we did, you know, like with a smile on their face. Like we didn't and we did, you know what I mean? So I don't know. I think I've only seen American Mary by the Soska sisters. I didn't enjoy the movie. I have not seen their other films, so I've only got the one to go off of. Now, I don't think it wasn't like the worst thing I've ever seen. It had a terrible soundtrack, which really like ruined a lot of the tension and everything for me. I think there were some good things at play in that movie, but it just didn't really like get put together as a complete good movie, you know? What's her face? Oh my gosh, Catherine Isabel. Like, I think she's really good. Like, I've never seen her perform poorly in a movie. So there are those elements there as well. But yeah, so I don't like, as far as like the way I feel about the Soska sisters, like I don't have much to go on. I'm more concerned about the fact that the writing team has like 0 real credits to their name and 0 horror, and they've done like show running and executive producing, but I don't think they've ever written like a film. And as far as their writing goes, you can correct me if I'm wrong in the comments or in the live chat. I'm diving into my memory because I covered it when they were announced as the writers of Scream 8, and we also looked at the first page of that Buffy the Vampire Slayer script that they wrote for the pilot that was sealed in a can and never released to the public. That 1 or 2 pages we read was awful. It was like offensively bad as far as overstepping all the socio-political kind of stuff that a lot of people I think just want to avoid in movies, and realize like, hey, those things are going to be intrinsically put into films and individual storytelling just by the stories that we're telling. We don't need to like overreach and do this kind of stuff. But the Buffy script was so bad and so poorly written that I'm more worried about the writers than the directors. Because I mean, unless you tell me that Jen and Sylvia are going to end up writing this, then I probably feel a lot better about it. But I hate the idea of somebody or a couple of people jumping into this franchise in the 8th installment, and they don't really have, real credentials to their name. So I guess bringing in the Soska sisters is probably a way to get some goodwill. They are, I would say like underground kind of like, they're like horror fan favorites or like they're like cult figures in the horror world. They never really, they haven't pierced into like the total mainstream. But they're, they've got a vibe, they've got a look, they've got a style about them. And I can certainly see why people gravitate towards, what folks like the Soska sisters do. So I don't know. I'm curious to know what you guys think. Really, I mean, you tell me. I've only seen one of the Soska sisters films, so I don't have much to go on. And you tell me, is this something, should we be excited as Scream fans? Is this going to be a good fit? Are we just now inevitably moving towards a Scream movie that really is going to have like final girls and all female ghost face, and like are we just going to like lean into that whole thing? Is that what this means? I really don't know. I'm ready for something different with Scream. So I guess hiring some people that have never written anything, that's different. All female writing, directing crew, that's different. I just hope the story is different and gripping. And maybe the Zuckerman sisters will surprise me, you know what I mean, with what they put on the page here. So, I mean, you can never count anyone out. Maybe this will be the opportunity that maybe this is the opportunity that they've been looking for to really solidify their voices as writers. And maybe they wrote more than what has been led on to, because sometimes when you're a showrunner or an executive producer, you write in the show and you don't necessarily take credit for like, well, yeah, I rewrote this whole like third of a page, or I rewrote that speech or whatever, but those people don't always take credit for that kind of stuff. So like, it's just their job as a showrunner to clean those things up and still give the credit to the person that wrote a bulk of the work. So anyways, guys, I'm circling the drain. I know I'm meandering now at this point, but I do want to know, first on the list, are you going to check out the Behind the Scream tour that David Arquette is taking around? I think that would be an awesome way to watch the movie. Hell, if it were going to Tucson, I would drive my ass down there and check it out. But it looks like he's not going to come to Arizona. So let me know if you're going to check that out. And give me your thoughts on Scream 8 and the rumors we're hearing. I mean, you can straight up tell me how you're feeling about the Zuckerman writing, because we figured that has been officially announced and everything. But what about the Soska sisters? How are you feeling about them taking over the franchise? Do you think they're a good fit? Do you think, I don't know. Just let me know what you think. If you're in the live chat, let me know right now. If you're watching after the fact, jump on into the comments. Give me your thoughts down there. Let's get that conversation going. Okay, guys, I'm going to jump on over and hang out with you all. There we go. I'm going to do that. And then, holy cow, 66 comments. Oh, my goodness. Let me scroll back up and find out where the hell we are in the chat. Okay, here we go. I think I got it. Oh, I thought I had it. Guys, StreamYard is so funny. John Carpenter shouldn't run for president. He is far too old, Daniel. He is too old. But I would let him write music for the presidency. President Deathray. President Davey Deathray. Oh my gosh. I know about a dozen people that would just like, you know, cry, kicking and screaming in their Betty buys if that were to happen. Oh, let's see here. What do we got? What do we got? I am just throwing stuff at the wall. Is it me throwing stuff at the wall, or is it everyone else? Everyone else here. Ryan, thank you so much for the another $5 here. Back to work, but here's one more. Hopefully, you guys get another hour with this amazing man. Thank you so very much, Ryan. I appreciate you, man. I love you, brother. I know why, dude. We get left out a lot of times, and I'm just like, why? Like, is it a political thing? But then I see other states. I mean, Arizona's a purple state anyways, but sometimes like when I see punk bands that don't come here, I'm like, is that a political thing because they think that Arizona is like a red state or what? I don't know. I don't know how, like with University of Arizona and then ASU, I don't know how a Scream tour with David Arquette wouldn't go well somewhere in this state. Yeah. I know, and that's kind of a bummer too, right? I mean, I think, is Austin in kind of the middle of the state? But still, Texas is fucking huge. Like, if you're not in San Antonio or Austin, that's probably a bit of a drive, right? I think, is it San Antonio's like 45 minutes or an hour away, something like that? Let's see here. What else do we got going on here? Wicked Pinto says, Scream's not my thing. Watch the original in the theater while in Okinawa as it released. It was fun, but I don't think I saw any of the others. I really like the first four. But yeah, I mean, the first one is really all you need. I think the Scream 2 is a really solid sequel. Scream 3 is like kind of out there and silly and fun and all that stuff. And then Scream 4 is like Wes reinventing the franchise and kind of like, you know, acknowledging that slashers had sort of grown up too. It's a really, like, I think Scream 4, that's my favorite sequel in the franchise, Wicked Pinto. If you ever find yourself scrolling around and you're like, oh shoot, Scream 4, Davey Deathray said he liked that. You know, like, I really dug that one. I also thought it was really ahead of its time with what it had to say about like influencer culture and social media, like celebrity and all that kind of stuff. Cause it was 2011 when it came out. So that stuff was happening, but it wasn't as like, you know, now it's like that's how people expect to have careers, you know. Let's see what else we got here. I'd ask Buffy questions, says Ben. So in Buffy the Vampire Slayer, the movie, David Arquette, but you'd ask Buffy questions at a Scream event? That is cold. That is cold, Ben Grimm. Welcome on in, man. Thank you so much for being a channel member. Guys, Ben has been, I've seen Ben all over the place since, guys, years before. Ben, do you ever remember, I'm going to stop the whole stream right here. Ben, do you ever remember seeing me in chats before I started my channel? Because I would see you all over the place. So there's certain names I just remember, you know, like Chester Franklin Jr., like, you know, all sorts of names that I just remember seeing, even like either Dave McCrae or like not Twisted Locker, Slaughtered Lamb or something like that. Anyways, they're going to ask questions about Ready to Rumble. That movie's really fun, dude. That movie's really fun. Does Courtney still own 50% of the production for the movie? Wow. Does she really own 50% of, you mean the studio? Or did she strike it? Oh, she must be a producer or something now, right? Is that what that is? I would imagine Nev's got to be a producer, but Courtney would be too at this point, right? Yeah. If we go, do we have to pitch our Scream crossover movie idea to Davey? That would be awesome. Yes, guys, we came up with a really cool, well, I wanted to do a comedy skit. It's like Ghostface Anonymous. And in my comedy skit, it's like Sidney Prescott has tragically passed away, but it was a total like legit accident, like something no one could have seen coming. Everyone's like in mourning or whatever. And then we have these Ghostface anonymous meetings. It's all these failed Ghostfaces or people that like wanted to be Ghostface and wanted to be the one to take out Sidney. And now they're like coming to grips with the fact that like not only did not one of them, like not only did they not get them, but not one Ghostface could get her. And it was a total accident. And then the person leading the meetings would be Stumacher. How about that? Let's see what else we got going on here. Adrian James, thank you so much for the 80 jewels, man. Thank you. Clock it with the 80 jewels. Ryan West dropping 100 jewels with the high five. Right back at you, Ryan. Thank you so very much, man. Really do appreciate you guys. Let's see what else we got going here. Tia says American Mary sucked ass. Yeah, I know we watched it in Discord. Is that the time? Was that your first time watching it? I would imagine you were there, Tia, right? I remember being pretty let down, honestly, because everyone talked about how good it was. And it, like, yeah, Catherine Isabel, awesome. The movie just seems like there are pieces missing. It seemed like a movie that has some sort of interference. It's really tough to tell. Lito says, speaking of the 30th anniversary of Scream, my 30th anniversary Ghostface mask arrived today. I'm thinking of doing a live unboxing video at some point this week. Dude, you should absolutely do a live unboxing. And I would do it as soon as possible, right? Because aren't those, I think those have been going out and about. So it'd be good to get a jump on that. There you go. Two women as writers is different. Would like to see a woman's take on Scream. Well, yeah, I mean, we're going to get that for Scream 8. And then, you know, perhaps we're going to get two women directing the movie as well. Yeah, I guess we'll see. And guys, it's, to me, I just like, it doesn't really matter. It's just like, I just want the work to be good and the story to be good and the movie to end up turning out awesome. If that, I seriously don't even care about the qualifying factors or the boxes that are checked as far as like what kind of attributes the people have. Like, just write a good movie and deliver the good movie, right? And like I bring up my concerns, you know, mostly because of the lack of resume. Well, especially on the writers. The Soska sisters have a resume. The writers don't have much of a writing resume. What's happening, Corey? Welcome on in, man. Hey guys, Corey from Wilkie's Movies and Music. He is looking to hit that 1,000 sub mark. All right, so I'm going to give him some extra love here. If we've got a mod in the chat, if you can post Corey's link to Wilkie's Movies and Music, that would be awesome. Corey is such a positive, sweet guy. He does these awesome lives where he's very engaging with his audience, and it's a celebration of movies and music. I would say leaning on the movies part. So if you like to just kind of chat about movies and, you know, have as many chill hangouts as you can, then Corey's channel, Wilkie's Movies and Music, is a great place to subscribe and hit the notification bell. You get those midday streams. He does those streams in the middle of the day. It's a really awesome time when you're sitting there thinking, man, it's the middle of the day and no one's streaming right now. Corey might be. So there you go. There you go. Is that for equality or is it like a VHS XX situation? You know, I don't know. It might just be happenstance. Like, it could just be that they really are hiring the people that have given the best pitch. And if that means that it's a all-female creative team, then cool. And I will judge the movie the same way I would judge it if it were all guys or a mixed, you know, crew or whatever. So yeah, I'll still judge it the same way. The Soska sisters only really made small-scale direct-to-video films. They made See No Evil 2, and they made a new Tubi original film, Festival of the Living Dead. So that, I guess that is a concern too, is like, how do you handle the bigger budget? Also, you know, the experiences that crew members and performers have had with them, and what that word of mouth is. By everything that I can see, it does seem like they are genuinely sweet ladies and big time horror fans and very passionate. And yeah, I mean, I've got no reason to think that there's, you know, that they're not capable, other than the fact that, yeah, when you look at their resume, it's not really as full as maybe we would like for something like Scream, you know. Michael Evans with a little guess who's back. Me, Michael Evans. I'm most excited for Crystal Lake and the H50 movie. Ooh, Crystal Lake is going to be awesome. In fact, guys, I do want to let you know we're going to jump onto the next story after this super chat, but I do want to let you know keep an eye out for a video I'm dropping tomorrow because Brad Caleb Kane and I believe Linda Cardellini both spoke at an event this last weekend. And Caleb Kane was like very open about like what we can expect. He doesn't dive into details. There's no spoilers or anything like that, but he's like very kind of open up front about, you know, what we can expect from the show. So I thought it was pretty insightful, and I'm going to cover his quotes, what he said, and then give you guys my thoughts. So keep an eye out for that video to drop tomorrow morning. So Michael, thank you so much for the $5. And I'm glad you brought up Crystal Lake, and I'm glad that I've got something ready for you tomorrow. An H50 movie, we will see. I hope we get something, but I don't know if it's going to be an H50 movie, although that would be cool. What's happening, Austin? Welcome on in, man. Hope you're doing very well. One of our great channel members there. And guys, we just reached our goal, so you're getting another hour with your boy Davey Deathray. And in that... Oh, Austin is towards the bottom of the state. And in that hour, guys, we're probably gonna keep on covering news. Jamie, welcome on in, our Death Squad mod, our OG Death Squad mod, our mama mod, and a channel member. This will Supergirl all over again. Not if it looks good. I think things fail most of the time on merit, guys. I really do think that. I don't think like great movies get completely railroaded. Sometimes the marketing isn't good, sure, all that kind of stuff, but like if the movie's good, then the proof is going to be in the pudding, right? So yeah, I mean, it still could work out being great. I've been here, an awesome gifted channel member just lurking tonight, I guess. Welcome on in, Crime Scene. Welcome, one of our awesome gifted channel members. Gifted and talented. Jiggy with a $5 super chat. If you get there before I do, I want you to know. I don't know. I'm just rolling. I'm just rolling with it. You know what I mean? Keep on rolling. Keep on rolling. Ooh, roll with the changes. All right, guys, we're going to jump on over to our next thing. I am crazy, but just a fun kind of crazy. Guys, Jeff the Killer. What the hell is Jeff the Killer? Let's find out together, or maybe you are not super out of touch and you know exactly what Jeff the Killer is. Let me know in the live chat. Let me know in the comments. You know, call me Unk if you have to, or whatever, Boomer, whatever you got to do, even though Boomer's quite inaccurate. I'm about 40 years too late for that one, I think. But let's jump into this, guys. This is an interesting little story here. Let me switch back on over to that, and I'm back in the circle. I'm back in the circle. Guys, Jeff the Killer horror movie in the works based on the viral Creepypasta. You might be asking yourself, why are you covering this, Davey? You just said that you don't even know what the hell Jeff the Killer is. And it's like, well, I'm covering it because here we are, guys. Here we are, right? It was the Filippo brothers. Then it was like Markiplier and Curry Barker and Kane Parsons. And now we've arrived at the point. I mean, shit, there was a Slender Man movie back in the day. So I guess that was even, you know, before we really saw this trend, like an actual wave start of YouTubers and YouTube, like, you know, maybe Jeff the Killer started somewhere else, but I would imagine that it was the viral sensation was spread through YouTube. So we're just in that realm of seeing these things that are little creepy ideas, you know, creepy little, I would say earworms if they were songs, but they're like eye worms, just something you see and you can't get out of your head, you know? So let's check out what this all means. Who's set to direct this thing? What the hell it is? Again, guys, if you know what this is, jump into the comments, jump into the chat, let me know. And yeah, we'll figure it out together. The article here says internet-born nightmares are all the rage in the wake of Kane Parsons' Backrooms hitting big at the box office. And up next, we're getting a Jeff the Killer horror movie adaptation. The Wrap exclusively reports this morning that Tongle and filmmaker Savannah Moss from Funny Bunny are joining forces to bring the creepypasta tale of Jeff the Killer to the big screen. And they want your help to make it all happen. Ooh, so are we going to do a little crowdfunding? The idea behind Tongle is to allow creators to actively take part in the projects. Over on Tongle's website, you can submit your written ideas for Jeff's motivation, vibe, and killing technique. The upcoming Jeff the Killer movie will be Tongle's first feature-length horror movie. Is this going to go to the theater? I'm so curious. I guess it depends on if they can gain enough interest for like a bigger studio or someone who can distribute it to jump on board, because this sounds like crowdfunding. I'm actually going to jump on over to the Tongle site and just take a quick look at it myself. We can take a look at it after we read through here. I'm still trying to understand how this Jeff the Killer is like supposed to be scary, but whatever, we'll figure it out together. Tongle explains, quote, Jeff the Killer is a foundational figure of the creepypasta genre, horror urban legends that emerged across the early internet. Now Tongle and Savannah are collaborating to turn Jeff the Killer into a movie, and our first step is to ask our awesome communities to help us establish what makes him tick/kill. I grew up reading Jeff the Killer and all of the creepypasta horror stories, so there's definitely a nostalgic connection for me, Savannah Moss tells The Wrap. I've even used Jeff in some of my fever dream videos in the past, so it's crazy to fast forward to now and actually have the opportunity to help turn this character into a feature film. What I've always loved about Jeff is how much of the character was built by the internet. Jeff stuck with people and became an internet icon. Now there are so many different versions of this story, from people adding to it and reimagining it throughout the years. We have this unique opportunity to take the character everyone knows and loves and create a truly terrifying, grounded horror film while still staying true to Jeff's origin. It's almost like she's talking about Freddy Krueger, but she's talking about Jeff the Killer. I don't just want to recreate the creepypasta, I want to make Jeff feel terrifyingly real. And holy cow, guys, he was introduced to the internet back in 2008. And Wikipedia explains, quote, within the story surrounding the character Jeff the Killer is a 13-year-old boy who goes insane and begins a killing spree after losing a fight and being burned by bullies. He is known for whispering the phrase, go to sleep, before killing his victims. Okay, interesting. 13-year-old boy who goes insane and goes on a killing spree. So he's, okay. So it's a revenge thing. It's very inspired by, you know, obviously the burning, Friday the 13th. And then even the way that like the lore and the urban legend side of it to me is very Freddy, right? So, okay, I'm just going to read a little bit about Tongle and then Savannah Moss, because I don't know these two parties that are involved. So Tongle is the proven platform where the world's leading brands and entertainment companies collaborate with creators to produce premium content for every screen. What the hell does that mean? Previous feature films developed and produced with Tongle's creator community include the award-winning Pharrell Williams Lego biopic Piece by Piece, released in theaters in 2024. I have never even heard of that before, and I know Pharrell is like huge, but I've never even heard of that before. Savannah Moss has generated a cult following of over 15 million fans for her unique storytelling abilities. Okay. Best known for her fever dream style content, she has been recognized for her outstanding horror-inspired works, including her recent short, Funny Bunny. So I need to check out Savannah Moss, because 15 million followers across social media platforms is pretty epic. I'd imagine there's overlap there on multiple platforms, but nonetheless, man, that is absolutely insane. And if somebody had that kind of that kind of fan base, yeah, they should be out there doing something bigger. And yeah, I'll have to dive into her fever dream style content and check out the short. I'll have to check out Funny Bunny and see more about that. But let's take a look over here on the site for Tongle. So Jeff the Killer, the movie character development project. So all right, we get a look at what Savannah looks like, and then we see what Jeff looks like. And doesn't he look like the meme of the like obsessed girl? That like old, I don't know, just that blank face is just kind of reminds me of that chick. But there we go. You can submit your concept. So that's kind of interesting here. Submit your written ideas for his motivation, vibe, and killing technique at the link below. Maybe we should all take a stab. I'm actually going to drop this link just in case any of you guys want to get involved. I'm going to drop that link in the chat. So there you go. If you want to check out that site, if you want to submit your own ideas for motive, vibe, and killing technique, there you go, guys. And then you can learn more about everything that Tongle does over there. So maybe it isn't crowdfunding, but it's just sort of like community based, which would actually be pretty awesome. and pretty based. How about it? So I'm going to jump on over to the live chat, see what you guys are saying. Jump on into the comment section down below. Educate me on Jeff the Killer. Maybe tell me the best resource to go learn more about this character. Or you can say, Davey, this is not worth learning about. Stay away from this. No one cares. Whatever you got, jump on into the comments and let me know down below. Okay, guys, I'm going to jump back on over here and see what y'all are saying. Let's see. Hey, it's okay. We can have we can talk about Ready to Rumble all friggin' night, Joe. How about that? Michael Evans dropping 1,000 jewels, a loot box of jewels. Thank you so very much, Michael. That's incredible. That is incredible, man. Thank you so very. I don't think, what is that, like a $10 jewels? That's awesome. Adrian, I'm so sorry. I saw, or I must have missed the comment on about your pooch. I missed it, but I see people, giving you well wishes and everything. I hope everything's all right, man. I really do. Our animal friends are just, they mean the world to us. They change who we are. They just, and for people like me who, doesn't have any kids or anything like that, like animal friends are, the companionship is even more meaningful, Davey, since you have that Ghostface Anonymous group idea, you should probably check out Final Girl Support Group for similar-ish vibes. Is that a movie or is that a skit? Because that's pretty funny too. A Final Girl Support Group. Yeah, I'm kind of right there with you, Jamie. Like the music was dreadful. Like it just really didn't fit, and the editing was pretty bad. It's weird. It's like, watching the movie, I was thinking like, man, you could probably, if you had all the resources and everything, if you could go back and do a re-edit on this thing and change the music out, it could gain, for sure. Let's see here. Okay, I just saw this for the first time. What's up with these new ads that are start playing as the live continues, playing in the background? It even started talking over the audio. What? Wait, they don't just take a break from... I'll have to look into that, Lito. On some of the lives, I do turn on... It's supposed to give, it's supposed to be an ad, every 30 minutes. I set it at, the least frequent thing. But they don't tell me what the ads are going to be or how long they're going to be. I know a lot of them you can just kind of skip through after, the first 5 or 10 seconds. I had no idea there's ads that... they let me continue in the background. That is stupid. I need to look into that, and maybe I just need to turn those off. It is just one of those things I try, because YouTube's my side hustle, so it's one of those things where it's like, I don't make a lot of money on the ad revenue and stuff. But I thought to myself, I was like, well, I wanted to give it a try and see what kind of impact it really does make. So, and then, obviously part of that impact is how it affects you guys and your experience watching it. Really, I figure if I'm live 3 times and you get 3 ad breaks, it's not the biggest deal in the world. But that does sound annoying, Lito. Let's see what else we got here. I'm so sorry, Jamie. I'm so sorry to hear that. I hope that, even if you can't hang, maybe you can listen. Maybe the smooth Davey Deathray voice can make you feel better. Yeah, I'm so sorry. Stomach flu in the middle of the summer. That is the worst. Sending you all the love and well wishes and prayers, Jamie. 10 jewels from Austin for a gold coin. 10 jewels from Antonis, who is hiding. Ooh, I like that. Let's jump on over. Oh, let's see here. I got to get T. Parker's because he's the one that... T, I don't know if you heard... I did give you credit for sending me the Soska Sisters stuff. I don't know if you were here. Haven't seen anything from the Soska Sisters, but what I learned from the DGG Halloween trilogy, an impressive resume doesn't matter. Passion and dedication does, because that trilogy slaps hard. Yeah, and he did have, I think David Gordon Green did have a pretty good resume going into it. But yeah, he, the whole reason, why he tackled it is because he was such a passionate fan of the franchise, right? And yeah, it's true. You can, Steven Spielberg just put out a movie that was not good. It was not terrible, not good, not really worth watching, right? So it's every filmmaker, every artist has their blips or their things that just don't go as well, you know? So it's like, I think that for us, the resume really is just a performance indicator. It's like the way that we can look back and be like, well, yeah, you are retroactively sort of judging what they might do in the future, which isn't necessarily fair, but it kind of gives you an idea. You know what I mean? It kind of sets the stage. Especially, you know, I think the biggest thing, T, is finding out that they've never worked on like a real, like a movie with like a budget, you know? The kind of budget that Scream 8 is going to have, even if it's not that much, even if most of the money goes to Courtney Cox and, Neve Campbell, it's still like, it's a massive franchise to take on. And if they performed well in their pitch and their meeting and everything, then go ahead and give them a crack at it. But that is the one thing that I think like, oh, that would, that might make it a little bit different, but then, at the same time, like Curry Barker went from making YouTube skits and short films on his phone to a movie that cost $750,000 and, looks like it cost, I don't know, at least 20 million. Like the movie Obsession looks really good. It doesn't look like a movie that was shot for under $1 million, right? And I don't even have to say how much money it's made because we all know that. So maybe the Soska sisters, maybe they do have that little bit in them as well. What's happening, X Anon? Good morning from 3:44 a.m. land. Guess why I can't sleep? I don't know, Dot. Why can't you sleep? What happened? Can the youngsters let me take out my teeth while you tell me about Jeff the Killer? I mean, the image, like I recognize, I'm like, oh, I've seen that face before. It's a horrible creepypasta. I struggle to suspend my disbelief. Well, yeah, I think it looks like a joke to me. It doesn't look scary at all. Like it doesn't even look like maybe it would scare a toddler, just because it's kind of nightmarish. But it looks like, I'm gonna bring up the image. I'm just gonna bring this chick up because I've not seen anyone mention her in the chat here. So what is it called? Is it like clingy girl memes or like what? Yeah, dude. This is basically Jeff the Killer. Let's see here. Like, doesn't that look like Jeff? That looks to me, I can't tell the difference. Look at, there he is on the left side of the screen. See, there he is. There he is. Okay, Clingy Girl. Did Clingy Girl, who inspired who? Who inspired who? Because I think that she might be scarier than he, I don't know. It's just funny. I might leave her up on the screen the whole time. Yeah, look at her. Yeah, I just got my girlfriend watching me. But seriously, it's true. Yeah. I wish I were a boomer so I could have grown up when people still had common sense. It's a screen capture turned into an ARG online that has been researched for its history within the YouTube history. Is ARG, is ARG? I don't know if that means something else. I just like to read it as like, it's turned into an ARG online. Someone named Jeff who got mad at someone because he's slow as molasses. Oh, wait. Parsons won a contest. Markiplier used his own money. Curry had already used his own money to make milk and cereal. Yeah, yeah, they all had different paths there for sure. Yeah. Parsons won a contest? Is that really what it was to get the movie made? I thought it was just because the Backrooms shorts that he created were so popular and then the video games took off. Well, that's true, yeah. But it doesn't look like, I can't confirm like how Tongle works. Like to me, on this first page, they're asking for you to submit a concept, and this is just the front page for the project. So, it's not set up like a traditional like Kickstarter or anything like that. So I don't know. Maybe Tongle is just trying to break into the business and they're the ones that are funding the film, and it's just going to be a really low budget, cut and paste horror stories from the email chain era. Okay. Davey reads Jeff the Killer story stream. Austin asks with a $2 super chat. Do you guys want me to dive into Jeff the Killer? That would be amazing. Just like, I can just, you guys can take me to school on it. Should I read Jeff the Killer? Dave's a killer. Should I read Jeff the Killer stories on a stream? It's just very simple, guys. Just tell me yes or no. Just yes or no. I'm not even going to come up with a creative yes or no. I have zero creative drive right now at the moment. Let me catch up a little bit here on everything going on here, guys. I know I'm behind. Let's see what else we got here. Oh, dude, you got the Stranger Things 4Ks. That's a really cool box set. That is a really cool box set. And thank you so much, Michael, for the support here, and thanks for hanging out for a bit. Hope you enjoy, man. I mean, shit, dude. That show, there's a lot of good in that show. Even though it didn't end the way I wanted it to, there's a lot of good in that show. Okay, guys, I'm going to see about, let's see. Swift, what's happening, man? I saw you jump in here. I had to say what's up before moving on. Hope you are having a great one so far here, Swift. And yeah, I'm going to jump on over to our next story. We're kind of bouncing around a little bit, guys. Now, this one here popped up a handful of days ago. Let's see here. It's from the 7th. So this one, it's been a little bit since this one popped into the horror news sphere. So I'm a little behind on it. But yeah, guys, new Leprechaun movie is in the works at Lionsgate with Patrick Melton and Marcus Dunstan writing. I believe those are they wrote the Collector movies and I think some of the Saw movies. Is that right? Let's just jump in and find out, right? Almost 10 years after the latest installment in the franchise, Deadline reports today, on the 7th, that Lionsgate is developing a brand new Leprechaun movie, and they found their writers. Patrick Melton and Marcus Dunstan, Saw 4 and Saw 3D, and The Collector will write the new Leprechaun movie. Deadline details, quote, Oren Kuhls and Miles Kuhls are set to produce the new entry, whose plot is being kept under wraps through their Coolest Productions banner, end quote. Well, I would imagine the plot is going to be about a leprechaun who doesn't like it when you touch or take his gold. And then he goes around killing everyone until he gets all the gold back. I would imagine that's probably, I don't think you need to keep the plot of a Leprechaun movie under wraps too much. And if you do, then maybe you're taking the Leprechaun thing too seriously. Oren Kuhls tells the outlet, quote, after producing all the Saw films and 23 wonderful years at Lionsgate, I'm thrilled to be working again with the Lionsgate team, Patrick and Marcus, and my son Miles, on a terrifying new way into the rich world of Leprechaun. And guys, as you know, or maybe you don't know, the Leprechaun franchise kicked off with Mark Jones's original horror comedy in 1993, which was followed by 5 Warwick Davis starring sequels, a reboot, and later Leprechaun Returns in 2018. Even though Leprechaun Returns was a sequel to the original movie, Lyndon Porco took over the role of the title character played by Dylan Postal for Leprechaun Origins. So, yeah. Guys, I'll tell you this here. I'll give you the real Leprechaun talk. I like the first movie quite a bit, actually. Yeah, it's cheesy. It's stupid. It's supposed to be. The Leprechaun knows what it's doing, and that's why I think they're so enjoyable. Now, if you can't let that go when you watch the movie, then yeah, you're probably not going to have the best time. But I think that first one is great. They don't even mention Jennifer Aniston in this paragraph, which I would, because she is so charming in that first Leprechaun movie. It is, you can tell she's going to be big shit after seeing her in that movie, or based on her performance in that movie. She has it, even though it's fucking Leprechaun. And then Leprechaun 3, I think, is totally awesome. Take Leprechaun to Vegas. It's super fun, just an absolute blast. But yeah, this series is something that I think could be really cool. And man, I think they should try to get, if they're going to try to get this made in a couple years, I say you really do try to get Warwick back. I do. I know that I don't know what kind of physical shape he's in or anything like that, but man, I say you got to at least give that call and see if you can get him in there for a little bit. Maybe you do hire a younger actor that can do some more of the athletic stuff in that same outfit and same makeup and everything. But it would be so cool if the forward-facing Leprechaun stuff was all Warwick Davis. And And, you know, I'll say this about Patrick and Marcus, the two writers here, Melton and Dunstan, as I'm calling them now. I think they're pretty all right. I think that's a good team to write this movie. The Collector is, I haven't seen The Collection, but I've seen The Collector. And yeah, there's some plot holes and there's a lot of suspension of disbelief because, you know, the way the house is rigged with all the traps and everything. But here's the thing is like Leprechaun is so much more simple than something like The Collector, you know, as far as like the details go. So I think this could be really cool. I bring Warwick back, get him in that costume. If he needs somebody to share the role with him, fair. I totally get it. But let's do something fun and silly and tongue in cheek that reminds us of those first few movies. And God, give Jennifer Aniston a call. Why the hell not? I don't know how she feels about the first movie. I haven't done any digging on that or seen if anyone's asked her about it in an interview or anything. But so maybe she doesn't have great feelings about it, but I don't know. The movie looked like it was pretty fun. So, you know, it might cost a pretty penny to get her back in, but maybe allow her to be like an executive producer or some sort of producer role or something so she can get paid on the back end. I don't know. If you brought Warwick Davis and Jennifer Aniston back for a Leprechaun movie, you'd be able to print your own money on that damn one. I'll tell you what. But yeah, I'm very curious to know what you guys think about the prospect of a new Leprechaun movie, what you want to see in the movie, if you don't want to see the movie. And if you're just like, Davey, why are you talking about Leprechaun? What is going on? It's not even March right now. So what are we doing? It's not even St. Paddy's Day time. But yes, here we are. And hopefully by St. Paddy's Day 2028, we could have a Leprechaun movie. But I'm curious to know what you guys think. So let me know in the live chat. If you're watching after the fact, jump on into the comments. Let me know down below. Okay, guys, let's see what we got here for Leprechaun talk, or Leprechaun, as I like to say. Holy cow, guys, 41 people watching right now. That is incredible. You guys are awesome. Please make sure you hit the like button. Subscribe if you have not subscribed yet. We are marching towards 4,000 subs. I would love to get there before the end of the year. So yeah, join us, or as I would like to say in my Evil Dead voice, join us. I think Final Girl Support Group is a book that's about to be a film by Christopher Landon. Damn, Christopher Landon's pretty all right. He's pretty good at what he does. Okay, let's see what we got here. The ad I talked about popped up over the entire chat space. I was shocked. Oh, so they're putting the ad over the chat and then still playing my video. You know, it's Twitch does that. Because I moderate for a channel here on YouTube, but then that gamer streams on Twitch as well. And Twitch it'll do that. It'll play the video and then play the ad over it. It's so weird. So weird. Well, I just want to be upfront about it, Lito. I just want to be upfront because I haven't been doing it. And I was like, you know, like once the stream is done, I think on the replays, they automatically put ads. But I was like, man, I get most of my views when I'm live. So I really, you know, I'm like squandering an opportunity to, you know, just to be able to have the side hustle provide a little more side for my hustle. Interesting. I use the Brave browser, so it blocks all the ads. So I know, even though I don't pay for premium, I don't see any ads on YouTube. Let's see here. Haven't worked on a movie with a budget. Jon Favreau had a lot of resume, but no budget, and he comes smashing it with Iron Man creating the MCU. Well, yeah, I mean, Iron Man had a way bigger budget than what he was used to, but Iron Man's budget wasn't like the way the budgets are now. And, you know, Favreau did make, you know, like Elf had, it probably wasn't a wildly big budget, but you can't tell me that Elf didn't have a budget. And that was, what, 4 years before Iron Man, I think. I think Elf was like 03, something like that. I mean, just paying for James Caan and Ed Asner and Will Ferrell and Mary Steenburgen, you know, like just those players is probably a pretty decent budget. But yeah, I mean, I get your point. Like you know, Elf isn't like a fucking spectacle movie. And again, it doesn't, your resume doesn't say that like, oh, it's just going to be a knockout of the park, or like, oh, this person can't do it because they haven't done it yet. I'm just saying it's all we have to judge them on as directors. And so that's fair, right? It's all we have to judge them on. Yeah, I mean, I think it was shot on a phone, you know, which, I mean, now you can like hook a bunch of great stuff up to your phone and you could basically turn the phone into, you know, a legit camera. I don't know much about it, Merc. I've seen little bits and stuff out there, but it just seems to have a really limited run. And you know, sometimes I'm just sort of like, man, how much digging do I have to do for your movie? Like, I don't feel like I should have to do that. I feel like if you're proud of your movie, then let's get it out there and let's not talk about it just 2 weeks before it comes out, you know? I have not played enough of Resident Evil 7 to know that, or I've not played any of Resident Evil 7. What I should do is watch people play. Okay, let's see here. I am going to move on to the next story, but I meant to say who can't sleep. Spoiler alert, the answer is me, just listening to try and drift off. Well, Dot, I hope that my voice is relaxing and calm and allows you to drift off into, you know, into sleepy land, not nightmare land. Do not, it's okay. I probably won't, I can't imagine most of you guys would want me to, but I just figured why not put it out as a poll and let you decide. Yeah, Ryan, I mean, I don't know. It's like at this time, I just wouldn't be surprised because there's plenty of malarkey going on out there. You know, there is Lep lore introduced in the third film that says that Leps are very territorial and won't tolerate another Lep invading their turf. They blew it by not having Davis on the screen twice. Yeah, that is, I don't remember that from the third movie. Partly because I'm probably just laughing my ass off when I watched that third movie. I love that one. Well, we can cover it. Yeah, we can cover it on St. Patrick's Day a little bit more. Yeah. All other Leprechaun movies are a lot of fun, though. Yeah, I mean, I think they are. Yeah, they don't have to be like, you know, there are Leprechaun movies where you're like, man, I don't ever need to watch that again. But shit, I tell you, I kid you not, like the first movie and the third movie, I would put those in rotation around that time of year. Yeah, I think you got to go camp. I did see somebody saying, putting up there, don't be camp. I mean, at least I think you should be camp that matches the first movie. At least, like in the third movie, they took the camp even further, and to me, it worked, right? But I think like the first movie is like, it's that sweet spot. It is like, it's camp, but it's still like, it's not incompetently made. It's not like that kind of camp. Yeah. Leprechaun, Freddy, Puppet Master, all coming back. Everything old is new again. Are they bringing Puppet Master back? When is Puppet Master coming back? Puppet Master. And Ben, I don't know if you answered my question, man. I guess you don't remember seeing me in live chat. Ben is like, Davey, I don't have time to remember you. You remember me because I am Ben Grimm. Puppet Master. I don't know why I gave you that voice, Ben. I really don't. I can't always explain the things I do. Puppet Master, what, reboot? Is that? Franchise creator Charles Band revealed in his book that Blumhouse Productions closed a lucrative option deal to develop a major new Puppet Master movie reboot with a potential television series. And we're getting like these double dipping on these properties here. Oh, about a week ago, Blumhouse is developing a Puppet Master reboot. Well, I think Puppet Master is pretty cool, pretty fun. So I'm down with that. I am down with that. I love Pumpkinhead. I will take... That is a reboot I would gladly take. But I want Pumpkinhead to still be practical and look very, very close to the way he looked in that original film. Man, I just don't get why... Like... You had a good career. You don't need to be embarrassed about anything you did. Like everything you did got you to where you were, you know? But I guess if the production, if she had a shitty time on the production, she didn't get along with people, like I would understand that a lot more than being like, ooh, that cheesy horror movie I was in. It's like, oh, come on. Like grow up. It's a fun horror movie. You know, same thing for like Paul Rudd too with Curse of Michael Myers. Just really, really weird. Yeah, I mean they're not gonna push the scary buttons, Ryan. That's for sure. Disowns and refused to acknowledge that she did that movie. They wanted her back in Leprechaun. She obviously said no. Damn. Oh, because it shows her original. Dude, her original nose is so freaking cute. Oh my god. I think she's is she like Greek? Is she like Mediterranean in descent? I think she is. I think she is Mediterranean in descent. I love that whole like that look. Oh my gosh. It's a good look. I really don't mind a prominent nose or just a good profile. I'm not talking giant nose. I just mean like something. Give me something there. That's pretty funny. She had that happen, and then McConaughey and Zellweger had it happen. Leprechaun Into Hood is my favorite movie of all time. Exceptional acting. What about Back to the Hood? I can't even say, like, you have to say it awkwardly like that. Back to the Hood. Oh, it's too bad because she's really funny in Office Christmas Party. She's hilarious in that movie. And I think she's pretty all right in Friends and stuff. Best thing to do is set the ad. So I don't do manual. I just do them timed out or whatever, automatic on that 30-minute thing. All right, let's jump on to the next story, guys. Let's see what else we got. Okay, we got some fun stuff here. This is a fun one that really is not much of a story. I just wanted to talk about it. Some of you might have seen that I shared this on the community tab just last night. But guys, we're getting this really cool VHS style 80s horror 5-film steelbook set. That was a fucking mouthful. And it's releasing in October. How cool is that to find out about something like this? And they're like, hey, you don't even really have to wait. In fact, I think you can order it now, and I'll show you how. I wish it were a little bit of a better deal price-wise, but maybe it is a pretty all right deal depending on everything we get here. So let's take a look at what we've got. Warner Brothers is celebrating Halloween this year with a tribute to some of the 80s horror greats, collecting together 5 of them for a retro-style steelbook library case release. It's called the 80s Horror 5-Film Steelbook Library Case Set. Fuck, man. That tells you they want to release more of these when they gave it that big of a name. And it's exclusively available for pre-order now through Amazon. The set will be releasing on October 6th, 2026. And I believe it's about $145. So that works out to being about $29 per movie. So yeah, I guess that's a pretty good deal. $29 a movie for 4K. I think it's 4K Blu-ray and digital. And then you get the cool packaging. So that is a pretty good deal. VHS style packaging. The set includes the following 80s horror classics. And guys, this is awesome. They picked 5 movies that are all different, that all kind of hit on a subgenre of horror. All these movies are celebrated. And yeah, this is, I mean, you could ask anyone, like you could ask all the horror fans in the world to put together 5 movies from the 80s that encapsulate that decade of horror, and you're going to get an infinite amount of responses and combinations, right? But this combination of A Nightmare on Elm Street, Poltergeist, The Lost Boys, The Shining, and Little Shop of Horrors, that's a pretty damn good selection here. And I'll be honest, guys, like The Shining, you guys know how I feel. I think it's good. I think there are a lot better Kubrick movies, and I think The Shining is, I don't know if it's like overrated, but I don't find myself like wanting to watch The Shining. I never sit there and be like, man, I really want to watch The Shining today, or I want to watch a haunted house movie. I should watch The Shining. Like there are a few other movies I would just jump to before that, but it's a great pick for this, you know? Let's see if I can name the years of all these movies. Nightmare on Elm Street, 84. Poltergeist, 82. Lost Boys, 87. Shining, 80. Little Shop of Horrors, 86. I think. Is that right? Maybe Little Shop is 88. I just wanted to do that for my own 86. Okay, so holy shit. So this is the 40th year, guys. We are going to be celebrating Little Shop of Horrors here on the channel. You mark my words. It's my favorite musical of all time. So anyways, guys, Amazon previews, quote, iconic 80s horror films, all in an exclusive set. I swear I can talk, guys. Amazon previews, quote, iconic 80s horror films, all in an exclusive limited edition Steelbook library case. This collection includes all films on 4K Ultra HD, Blu-ray, and digital. I love that they have to say 4K Ultra HD. They break down each one of the films. I don't need to tell you guys what these movies are about. I don't think I have to, but let's go ahead and take a look. I mean, yeah, $145 from Amazon is a killer deal for these. And we're going to take a closer look at the images because I think like this is where it's really exciting. Look at this thing. Like, I mean, they've matched the spines of the VHSs exactly. Like they've gone after, I think, those first edition VHS. So you could probably find VHS of these movies that maybe look a little different on the spine, but I believe they're going with the OG spines here. That Poltergeist one, I think they have to leave off the names of the companies, I think. Because Poltergeist, that to me looks like maybe it was CBS Fox at one point, and maybe Warner Brothers bought the rights to it, right? Because I'm just looking at that spine and I'm like, that's really similar to the way the CBS Fox movies looked on their spines. So yeah, really cool, just outer package there. And that's awesome. You get 3 versions of the movies. That's pretty cool. And then here we got another one. I'm going to zoom in on that. So you get these really cool, posters, these really cool, like fold out posters. It just adds value, right? And I mean, the case, I think the worn kind of look of the cases that they give you. So they have the actual 4K Blu-ray cases that have the same worn kind of look as a VHS would have if it existed, or if it'd been around for about 40 years. And then you get some cool like cards and stickers and, a little, 80s horror placard that you can put up on your desk or whatever. I'm really pumped to see, I'm sure we'll see Christian from Planet CHH, do a whole unboxing to break this one down. Pizzao will probably do something about it. Guys, rest assured, Garrett from Born to Be Brad will jump into this box set because of the Lost Boys. Just that in and of itself, I'm sure he's a fan of all the other movies as well. But yeah, this is a really cool box set. I think there really is something for every horror nerd in the box set. And I think in most cases, like I can't think of any horror fan that wouldn't want to have these movies in their collection. Maybe people wouldn't really dig Little Shop, but I think Little Shop's a really cool pick because again, it's just about another subgenre and trying to if you pick 5 films that represent the whole spectrum of horror, I think they did a pretty damn good job. I think they killed it. So, and I realized I meant to share this tab while I was talking about it. There you go, guys. Got the posters at the top. We've got the worn 4K boxes in the middle there. I love that look matches the VHS. It's really cool. And then, yeah, you can see your stickers and your download card and then your cool little thing that you can put up on your desk. Sorry about that, guys. Sometimes I switch tabs and I'm just like, oh, it's going to automatically do everything for me because I'm a professional. I'm Davey Deathray. Everything should go perfectly. But there you go, guys. I'm curious to know if you're going to purchase this one. I think it's really cool. They're letting us know. And it's like, hey, in less than 2 months, you could have this thing, and this is something that you could enjoy for spooky season or maybe purchase for somebody that you care about that's a big horror fan. So yeah, anyways, guys, let me know if you're going to purchase this one in the live chat. If you're hanging out, jump into the comments if this is something you're interested. Yeah, just let me know down there. And yeah, let's see what you guys are saying about this box set. I'm going to go back over there. There we are. Down is up, gifted a YouTube channel membership. Ooh, who did that one go to, Jeff? Who did that one go to? Where do I need to go to see it? How far up is YouTube gonna make me scroll? Okay, what else do we got here? Oh my gosh. Rebel Sky, I see you hanging out in the chat. Rebel Sky, man, I'm sorry, guys. There we go. Derek was gifted a channel membership by Jeff. Thank you so much, Jeff. I really do appreciate that, man. Thank you. And Rebel Sky, I must have your super chat must have come in, but then I jumped over to the news before I got there, when I was scrolling through. Rebel Sky drops a $2 super chat, one of our great channel members, and says, late to the party, Davey, but here, my tribute friend. I am your tribute friend. What are we tributing? Are we going to be in a tribute band? That'd be kind of cool. Guys, if you could be in a tribute, but you don't have to be able to play an instrument or sing or whatever, but if you could be in a tribute band for any band, like what band would you be like, yes, I want to be in that tribute band? Just let me know. Random ass question, just let me know. Okay, let me catch up with what's going on here. The box set is really awesome, but I already have the 4Ks of A Nightmare on Elm Street, Poltergeist, The Lost Boys, and The Shining. That's the thing, right? Yeah, that's the thing. So Warner's, they do know that some people will double dip, Blue. Some people will double dip because it's just part of our community and culture. You know, it's there's some folks out there who are completionists, right? And you know, hey, if you have the means, more power to you. I certainly don't, but I'm also not going to tell people what to do with their money. So what I will do is I will kick my feet up and I will watch them unbox it and talk about it. And I'll be like, that's fucking dope that they got that. And I will be very happy for them. Damn, Jigsaw gifting 5 channel memberships. And those go out to Adrian Phillips, YouTube certified commenter. Wow, who is that? That's got to be one of my secret watchers. I'm absolutely going to go to that channel. Grunt the Aussie, Bryce Hart Scary, and Lord of Dogtown. Welcome to channel membership, everyone. Very, very exciting for y'all. I have to see what this account is, though, for YouTube certified commenter. That's hilarious. Oh, they've been a channel member, or not a channel. They've been on YouTube since 2012. No subscribers. Yeah, that's so funny. That is so funny. What a random account. Anyways, I'm just extra paranoid, guys. That's all. Okay, guys, let's see. Tribute band Kansas, and I would only perform Carry On My Wayward Son because it's a great song, because it's been my dream to be in a rock and roll tambourinist. Hell yeah. They've got some other good tracks, right? I'd be in an ABBA tribute band. Fun fact, I love that disco-esque era. It's not even disco-esque. It is just straight up disco. Yeah, ABBA's absolutely disco. I think some of the ABBA songs are pretty cool. Yeah. I think there's some good tracks there, yeah. I'm not super familiar with all of the songs, but like I do think there are what was the Mamma Mia is a catchy song, right? What was the one? Dancing Queen, that's classic. Yeah. Yeah, they're pretty catchy. Pretty catchy. DA Studios, Don't Ask Studios. What's happening? Don't Ask. Welcome on in over on the Twitch side. Hope you were doing well. Okay, guys, jumping on over from the 80s nostalgia Steelbook book set. Let's talk a little bit about the Monster series. Yeah, I'm going to be a grump. I'm going to be a total grump. Jamie, I warned you. I don't know if you were in the chat yet, but I did send out the warning. Guys, Monster the Lizzie Borden story teaser brings the infamous axe murderer to Netflix this September, one of the embers. Well, infamous axe murderer. So, she was acquitted. There are some other, I was stunned to find this out after 15 minutes of research. There are other suspects or other people that they think could have done this. I also found out that Lizzie Borden's father was very wealthy and had a lot of enemies, including a son that he considered illegitimate, who just happened to visit like the week before the incident took place. And there's a whole bunch of stuff surrounding the family. It's very interesting. Like we're gonna get into the article, and then I'll tell you like everything I learned about Lizzie Borden. But really, the main takeaway from this kind of stuff is, and I'm gonna talk about it every time. And yeah, you can say that, well, why are you giving voice to it or whatever? I see Ken from Sledgehammer Horror speaking out about it, and I agree, and I respect that he does that. And I'm like, you know what? Ken shouldn't be the only one. Like, there should be a lot of us in the horror sphere that it's a small step forward to take, just to take that step and say, hey, I think this is too far. I think we're idolizing, and through exaggeration and embellishment, we are making these real life monsters into kind of like anti-heroes, or, you know, in a way it feels celebratory when you lie about stuff like body count or crime or the circumstances that they were put in. But if there's one thing I've learned about this Ryan Murphy guy, and it's really like, whatever, dude, you do your fiction stuff and make it all weird. Like, clearly the guy is like obsessed with weird sex stuff. That's his own prerogative. There are plenty of filmmakers who are. In fact, some filmmakers and some storytellers whose work I enjoy, like David Cronenberg, a lot of his stuff is kind of delves into like the sexual or whatever, but there's so much more else that he brings to the table. But when I watch stuff like American Horror Story and shit like that, it just really seems like trash. It's really exploitative. I don't think it's very good storytelling. I don't know. To me, it is just, it's like the sad mainstream version of the thing you love. You know, it reminds me of punk rock, you know, like, oh, wow, I love all this really cool punk rock stuff. But in the mainstream, people only know about Green Day and Blink-182, or, you know, the Ramones, because the shirt is at Target now, or whatever. And that's kind of how it feels when I see stuff like this that goes to Netflix and it becomes the mainstream popular thing. And it gets lumped into horror and all this other stuff, but it's just, I'm just gonna say it, it's just perverse. The monster stuff is just perverse. So let's jump in and see what this article says, and then I'll continue to bitch and moan and complain. I totally get it if this isn't your vibe. Guys, usually I'm really posy here on the channel, but I also have to be honest in my coverage. And I also, like, I think it's important to be like, hey, I love all of this stuff, but there is a line clearly drawn in the sand for me on this. And I feel like it's okay for us to talk about those things. We all have those things within like the art that we enjoy. And this isn't my call for any sort of censorship or anything like that. Whatever, the guy can do the show. I also feel like I can voice that I think it's bullshit that this stuff is being celebrated. So here we go, guys. Netflix's true crime anthology series Monster is back this September with Monster, the Lizzie Borden story. And the first teaser introduces this season's killer with her famous skipping rope rhyme, highlighting her vicious slaughter. Ryan Murphy and Ian Brennan's anthology series returns with its fourth season on Netflix on September 17th. What deal did Ryan Murphy make with whom to get all of this work? In the new season, quote, when the repressed daughter of a wealthy New England family and her rebellious maid find themselves trapped in a house built on humiliation and cruelty, they escape into a fantasy of sex, power, and revenge. The gruesome unsolved murders that follow don't just shock the world. They give birth to an icon who refuses to live imprisoned in a cage, choosing instead to forge her own legend. Shocking, monstrous, and gloriously free. Can you imagine? So again, she was acquitted, but it does seem like it's most likely that she did commit these crimes. But just imagine if somebody committed these crimes in your family and then Netflix makes a show and is like, oh, they were like imprisoned and breaking free from their shackles. Like, I gotta say, guys, everything, all of the evidence that we have says that none of this situation was ever set up this way. When they say trapped in a house built on humiliation and cruelty, they escape into a fantasy of sex, power, and revenge. I didn't see any of that. In fact, you know what we could do? Let's go ahead and jump on over. I've got the Wikipedia over here. Making sure it's up on the screen. Okay. So let's take a look at some of this stuff. Let's just get full nerdy, okay? And again, I am not an expert on this. I just looked into this like, you know, the other night because I bristled when I saw the fucking monster thing. So right here in this top paragraph, it says another prominent suggestion was that she, Lizzie Borden, was physically and sexually abused by her father, which drove her to kill him. There is little evidence to support this, but that wasn't a topic that would have been discussed at the time, and the methods for collecting physical evidence would have been quite different back in 1892. So that belief was intimated in local papers at the time of the murders and was revisited by scholar Marcia Carlisle in a 1992 essay. Okay, so it was reported by newspapers in 1892 that might have happened. Okay, well, we know we can't even trust the newspapers now. So I would imagine they were terrible in 1892. Also, the whole thing of, you know, it wouldn't have been discussed at the time, but in this same Wikipedia article, her father's wife, Lizzie's stepmother, was worried before all this stuff happened. The family got sick from like some bad meat, and the stepmom was worried that somebody was trying to poison the father because it was well known in the town that like a lot of people didn't like him. So if a lot of people didn't like him and he was like doing this terrible thing to his daughter and like imprisoning her or whatever, I'm thinking that maybe that would have come out. But either way, it wasn't ever solidified. So it's odd that they're making it a part of this version of the story. And then another thing I wanted to bring up here. Let's see. Oh, mystery author Evan Hunter, better known as Ed McBain, in his 1984 novel Lizzie, suggested that Lizzie committed the murders after being caught in a tryst with Sullivan, who's the maid, right? So in the description for the Netflix thing, they're like, oh, it turns into like this whole sex and power and revenge and blah, blah, blah. But this is a guy that just wrote a book and just speculated that that's what's happening. He just made it up. McBain elaborated on his speculation in a 1999 interview, speculating, two uses of speculation, that Abby had caught the two together. Abby's the stepmom. She caught the two together and reacted with horror, disgust, and that Lizzie had killed Abby with so it's just wild speculation. So yeah, this stuff, it just really kind of grinds my gears. I'm going to go back on over here. House built on humiliation and cruelty. We don't know that. That was never proven in the slightest. It was just possibly just made up by reporters to make the story a little more salacious. They escape into a fantasy of sex, power, and revenge. That's just made up. Yeah, I don't know. Choosing instead to forge her own legend, not live in prison in a cage. Really, what I learned is that Lizzie and her sister didn't like that the dad was spending money on the stepmom's family, buying properties and homes for the stepmom's family. And so Lizzie and the sister got into a big old fight with the family. They actually like went and stayed somewhere else. They like took a month-long vacation and came back, and not long after is when the murders happened. So yeah, Monster, fuck off. I can't stand these shows. Ryan Murphy, you're weird, dude. You're weird. Yeah, it's very odd that this is the kind of storytelling and kind of creativity that this person chooses to put out in the world. But I don't know, maybe I'm just a total prude. Maybe I shouldn't get bent out of shape. Really, it's like you can fuck up and fuck with somebody like Jason Voorhees, and I can have fun with the Jason universe. I just give them shit. It's all in good fun. But this real life stuff, to lie and exaggerate and perpetuate lies that have been going on for close to 150 years at this point, like, it's just a bit too much. So end rant. I'm curious to know what you guys think. Let me know in the live chat if you're hanging out. If you're watching after the fact, jump on into the comments, talk me off the ledge, or cheer me on with your pom-poms. I don't know. All right, guys, let's see what you're saying. I know. Sometimes I can just, you know how it is, guys. You know how it is with me. Sometimes I just randomly, and it just all comes out. All of the ugliness. Okay, here. Let's see what we got. Aaron Click is in the house. What's happening, Aaron? Welcome on in. People really don't like Ryan Murphy. Pose was fantastic, though. Yeah, it just seems the more I dive into his stuff, it all has everything is like, all the stuff that's supposed to be based on reality is embellished and a bunch of bullshit. It all has some sort of I'm trying to pick the word. I don't want to say perverse sexuality, just some sort of like odd, on the outer rims kind of sexual thing going. You know what I mean? Like it's strange to me. And it just makes me wonder what the fuck's going on in this guy's head. Also created the show Love Story, which was pretty good. Season 1 was about JFK Jr. and Carolyn Bessette. All right. I don't know. I've never heard of that. All of the monsters are complete trash. I tried a few of them. Dahmer, I gave the most time, but it was trash. At this point, like the crazy things too about Dahmer, like with Dahmer and with Ted Bundy, you can jump on YouTube and watch interviews with those guys. I mean, Dahmer was very forthcoming. He you know, who knows? He still could be lying. I mean, the man was a serial killer, and you can't trust every single thing. But he was very. It seemed like the way he described things and the way he admitted to the things that he did. Even if he is getting some weird sense of satisfaction deep inside of his psyche, reliving those events, it didn't come off that way. And you can learn a lot from those interviews, you know, listening and watching, and then just reading about what actually happened. These topics are fascinating, and I think they're fascinating for everyone. It's not just horror fans. This is how people grab mainstream folks into the horror subculture, is by, you know, attaching themselves to these figures that are more prominently known in the public. And then, of course, I mean, the salaciousness and the exaggeration and all that stuff, that's the hook that brings people in. The bullshit's the hook, even though the real story is very fascinating. In the case of Jeffrey Dahmer, the real story is, I think his case and his life story is the most fascinating out of all the different, you know, serial killers, at least in the American serial killers. It's a wild life story. And compelling enough without lying about it. Compelling enough without lying about it. Ryan Murphy is trash. Monster was meh, but AHA. Yeah, I think American Horror Story, it's different. Like, I don't absolutely love it, but yeah, they're making stuff up. Some of it might be inspired by, you know, it's like they kind of worked in like the Black Dahlia kind of thing, but it's not like they're really trying, like they're working a real thing in to a fictional story. So it's like, okay, I can compartmentalize those things. Yeah, his whole thing was not so. Oh, was he Glee as well? Okay. I loved Glee for a while, but then it got trashy and I almost gave up. You know, sometimes shows will just get there, right? That is the problem with the Lizzie story in every way. It's the sexual deviancy of her maybe being a lesbian or some trash. They have to lock into the hook of it. And she might have been. She might have been. But there's nothing, you know... If that had happened, then there's no evidence to really like solidify that. Now, the maid did say like on her deathbed that she didn't tell the full truth in court to protect Lizzie. She admitted to that. There was no other you know, admitting of anything else. But yeah, you could look at somebody like Lizzie and be like, oh, I'd buy her as a lesbian, but that doesn't mean anything either. Like, you know, maybe your odds could be, you know, odds could be in your favor that you're right, but that doesn't matter either. It doesn't. I mean, it really has nothing to do with it. I think it's just that people kind of catalog those things in their memory. Oh dear Lord, they're going to make it about scandalous sex, which was just a theory, not a fact. Oh, it's Aaron. It's going to be about the abuse, the imprisonment. Oh my gosh, Lizzie was a victim and she had to strike back. She was a beaten animal in the corner. And it's like, okay, those things are possibilities. But in the 130 some years since this case was tried, we haven't been able to prove any of it. They still haven't even been able to prove. I was blown away. I had no idea there were other suspects. I just thought it was like a botched case and she got acquitted because like they had shitty police work, right? But when I read like, oh shit, there's like 3 legit other suspects or other people that could have done it. And I'm like, well, that all sounds plausible too. And it all went back to like the money thing. And I think that's what it was about like, don't give stepmom money. Well, this Eileen Wuornos is going to be in one of the seasons, but where the article that I was reading from, Paula, is only talking about the Lizzie Borden side. But yes, they are going to dive into Eileen, and there's another one, Elizabeth Bathory, I think, something like that. They're gonna fuck all that up, dude. I mean, they're going to fuck up Eileen, and like that happened not that long ago. In fact, they made a movie called Monster that was an Academy Award-winning movie. I think Charlize won an Academy Award for that. Do we need a TV show? That was just like 20 years ago. Shit. There's a Lizzie Borden rock musical about her trial, and it actually goes through different possible killers and motives. Yeah. I had no idea, so I'm a dum-dum about that. But yeah, I mean, let me see here. John Morse, another significant suspect is John Morse, Lizzie's maternal uncle, who rarely met with the family after his sister died, but had slept in the house the night before the murders. According to law enforcement, he had provided a, quote, absurdly perfect and over-detailed alibi for the death of Abby Borden. Morse was considered a suspect by police for a period. So, you know, sometimes they would say in interrogations now, when people give too many details, it does mean they're lying. You know, too many details, and usually the details that they give are relatively insignificant, but oh my gosh, they have a lot of insignificant details. That usually means they're lying. William Borden, suspected to be Andrew's illegitimate son, was noted as a possible suspect. He surmised that William had tried and failed to extort money from his alleged father. And then they found out that William wasn't Andrew's son. That's crazy. Emma Borden, although Emma had an alibi at Fairhaven, about 15 miles from Fall River, crime writer Frank Spearing proposed in his 1984 book Lizzie that she might have secretly visited the rest. So more speculation, but just another person. But John Morse and William Borden, I think those are pretty legit. Yeah. Let's see what else we got here. Probably watched too much Dexter. Well, in Dexter, yeah, like and again, in a fantasy show, it's like a little bit different, right? It's like, that's where it is for me, is it's crossing over, and the stories are presented to the audience. As far as I know, it's presented as like, here's the story. You know, this is like the real deal, the real McCoy. With all the embellishment though, man, I agree with you with what you're saying, Davey. It's one thing to do that with Jason or Freddy, but not with a real life story. It's not prudish of you, Davey. It's you longing for a little authenticity. Well, and just like, let's not celebrate murderous monsters. We don't like that. I don't like that. I mean, maybe there are some horror fans that are okay. Like, I don't think that stuff is cool. I don't admire these people. Finding someone fascinating or finding a story fascinating is not admiration. It's fascinated in the way of just like, wow, this freak thing happened, and I'm so curious because it's so not normal. It is so abnormal, in fact, that very few people even have that kind of experience on either end, right? And it's so shitty. Now, in Lizzie Borden's case, it's been 130 some years, but it is so shitty to do that to the families and the victims. It is, I get goosebumps just because it hurts when I think about that. I'm like, imagine what that would be like for one of Dahmer's victims' family members to see that show and have that show lie about how it really went down. I just think it's so disrespectful. Like, it really crosses a line for me. I just don't think we should celebrate those people. I'm gonna be a stickler about it. Liz, how are you doing? So great to see you. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm baked like a cake. Maybe I should get baked like a cake, Liz. Maybe I should. I own the Lizzie Borden Christina Ricci movie, but haven't seen it yet. Yeah, was she in 2 Lizzie Borden things? Because one of them was like a Lifetime movie. Yeah, I don't know. Sad thing is that even the meat on the bone with the true story, there's enough meat on the bone with the true story that you didn't even need to. Yeah. And that's my whole thing too, is like, look, these stories have resonated for so long because they're already interesting. And here's another crazy thing they could do in this situation, particularly because we don't know for sure. You could tell the version that's like, kind of like the Clue movie, where you're like, here's the version of everything that's been reported and the way everything shook out. Now, here are the what if, and you can like dive into these what if sort of scenarios and stuff on a show like that. But I guess that's not going to keep your audience as much as just lying to them. I found the Netflix docuseries that was done on Dahmer and Bundy. I'm weirdly a sucker for serial killer docuseries. But so if it's a documentary and it's about the actual, like it is just about the killer and it's not a dramatization, that's my issue, Liz. I'm, of course, like I said, these things are fascinating. Some of us want to learn about. Like I find them fascinating to read about and stuff like that. Yes, I do. But I don't like the let's turn it into a Hollywood thing. and let's sort of like make these people look like anti-heroes. In the case of Lizzie Borden, the way they're explaining it is like, absolutely, this woman was a victim and actually acted heroically. Like, that's the story that's being presented in that synopsis, and that synopsis is provided by Netflix, as far as I know. Murphy's openly gay. He started out as a showrunner, is very interested in telling. Well, and that's totally fine too. I mean, that to me, there are plenty of deviant, or people that put that stuff into their work from all over that spectrum of sexuality. It's just when any creator's obsessed with it. There was like a while where it was what's his name? Oh, Soderbergh did like Sex Lies and Videotape. I think there was another one he did that was pretty salacious. I mean, Cronenberg, I'm just going to bring him up again because I actually really like a lot of Cronenberg movies, but there's some of his movies where he really dives into that kind of stuff. And I don't know what it is. There was a time in my life where it was like all of that stuff was so exciting to experience because I wasn't like so sheltered, but I also wasn't watching that when I was like a kid. It was like high school when I was starting to see some of that stuff. But now where I'm at as a dude in his 40s, I'm just sort of like, dude, everything that you make has to have some sort of weird sexual angle. To me, that's just like, can you just go to therapy instead of like putting it in the shows? So yeah, no problem with whatever. Like, honestly, to me, it's just like, just tell what we know of the truth, tell that story, and what we don't know, don't make up with like the wildest shit you could put in there. What's happening, Dominic? Welcome on in, man. Welcome on in. John Wayne Gacy is an insane story, bro. Well, yeah, and that's the thing too, is his story in and of itself is scary enough. You don't even need to embellish it. That guy was friends with President Carter's wife. John Wayne Gacy. I mean, at least they appeared at events together. Political events. Aaron, we are just on the same wavelength, man. I'll say that for Aaron, we have so much crossover on like our social sensibilities, man. I know we have parts, spots where we don't align so much either. And I just find it so refreshing to those moments that we do cross over. For me, that's like, well, that's proof that, even with our differences, we most likely have more in common with our fellow humans. If season 4 of Monster gets a lot of views on Netflix and stays in the top 10 most watched for a few weeks, they'll probably make it. Dude, they are going. Oh, yeah. They probably already have the plans, right? Because they're doing the Lizzie Borden and I think the Eileen and the Elizabeth Bathory. I think those are going to be like 2 more like mini series. So I think both of those are still planned as like part of season 4. I haven't dove too deep into it because honestly, like, I don't like what they're doing with these characters, but yeah. Let's see what else we got here. Thinking of rebooting Glee. Oh my goodness. Well, Billy, I don't know about that. But yes, Weinstein is not. I don't know who you're saying he's worse than. Oh, worse than Ryan Murphy. Well, yeah, I'm not saying that Ryan Murphy is out there harming anyone. That's like, no, I do not. We're so far away from even, I don't know. Honestly, Billy, I'm kind of like, how does Weinstein even come up? I wouldn't even compare the two. I just think from a creator standpoint, I just find it odd, the obsession with that stuff. Yeah. American Horror Story did it right. They took real American events and fictionalized them into an original story. Absolutely. Dead on, bang on for Jamie Hart right there. He made the guy that played Ed Gein talking to Winnie the Pooh voice. Is that real, guys? I have not watched any of that. Does he talk like this? Oh my gosh. Yeah, the first season of American Horror Story was the best one. I think I fell off after like season 3. Like the one where they're in the asylum. I was like, oh, this is stupid. Like, I love Jessica Lange. I can't watch them do this to her. Wicked Pinto. Lizzie was fat and unmarried. I am not going to call her that. I've seen like 2 pictures of her. She looks to me like she's built a little differently, but I wouldn't use the F word. I guess I'd have to see her in person. I guess I'd have to put my arms around her. American Horror Story. Is that what you're singing, Jigsaw? Is that what we're doing? Evan Peters is dope. He's a really good performer. Yeah, he's awesome. No criticism on him. I know he played Dahmer and all that stuff in the monster thing too. Like he's a really good actor. Yeah, I dig him. I mean, who's the guy in the first season is so bad? What's that guy's name? Dylan McDermott. Fucking A. That guy is a dreadful performer. I mean, at least in that show, maybe he's been good in other stuff. He's so bad in that first season of American Horror Story. Like, I felt bad for all the other actors. I did. Let's see here. What else do we got? Dexter is hot, says Tia. Ooh, is Dexter hot? Do you like the fact that he goes out and serves justice, Tia? I guess I can't tell. Like, I look at that actor, I can't tell if he's handsome. You know, he doesn't have that, like, oh, obviously that guy's handsome kind of look. I really can't tell. My money is on Lizzie's uncle. You know, they all had their gripes. Lizzie was in the house. It's most likely that it was her. And man, I didn't even know that she died. When she died, she had like 250 grand in the bank. She owned multiple properties. 250 grand when she passed away in the 1927, I believe it was. She was like 66. 250,000 that she had in the bank or whatever, it was like $6.5 million in today's money. So man, she made out like a bandit. DA Studios, hey, no worries. If you watch me on Twitch, that's cool too. No one watches me on Twitch, so I know maybe it's a little lonely over there in the chat, but I can bring your chats up over here on the YouTube side as well. So if you do have a YouTube channel and you want to subscribe, we're marching towards 4,000. I'd love to get there before the end of the year. She is, yeah, but not within the Lizzie Borden story, right? So all the stuff that I read was from the Lizzie story. Let's see what else we got here. It is, isn't it? And honestly, I sigh, Aaron, because like, I don't want to be the killjoy. I don't want to be the guy that says, or, you know, the person that's like, hey, we shouldn't enjoy this or whatever. Like, I don't, like when I was in high school, like all the worst people did that, you know, and there's still people out there that do that now where, you know, you can't want to go to Halloween Horror Nights because Nikki's going to be at the Halloween Horror Nights and Nikki's not a villain and she's a victim. So, you know, it's like, it's just like people just like, I don't want to be that kind of person, you know, but I think, and I don't really take these, I mean, I think you guys know this. I don't take hard line stances on a lot of stuff, you know, when we're talking stuff here. But this is just one of those things where I'm just like, yeah, I can't do it. I can't do it. I'm just, when it comes to the real stuff, I'm into the documentary side, and I understand that even in documentaries they get things wrong. New information comes to light, or maybe there's some sort of bias by the person making the documentary. But I know those things going into the documentary. Watching and granted, people could watch Monster and still do their own research and find out the truth. But I still think the act of making that production is, like Aaron says here, it's on the glorification, celebratory side of things. So yeah. I mean, we're going to see one about that Brian Koberger guy, right? Like they're going to fucking make money off that shit too. Like how many millions of dollars does Ryan Murphy have, and how many lies have been told, you know, regarding these stories that have affected so many families? It's fucking crazy. Gav, what's up, man? How are you doing? Mr. Mud Nelson, welcome on in. So great to see you. That's pretty, yeah. And all of his movies, he found a way to work into it. It's like The Fly, which, by the way, turns 40 this Saturday. It's like The Fly has like the least. The Fly, he was like, well, I got a lot of body shit in this, and like it's all kind of the gross side. I mean, there's still like a sexual side to, you know, the relationship in the film, but that's just like normal. You know, it's not It's not like Videodrome or Crash. Yeah. And I only call out Cronenberg to say, like, well, I'm just going to be fair. Like, I do enjoy some directors or people's work that you could say are on that obsessed side. Yeah, no, that's the way to go. I figured that's what you meant, Liz. But I didn't know, because they use all sorts of interesting language when they talk about these shows. But yeah, the recordings are pretty interesting. Bundy is, yeah. I think the thing about Bundy is, like, I think he bought into his magic a little bit too much. He was like a little too overly confident. And you can tell, like, the way he talks about himself. Yeah, that's a wild one. And then what? And not even that many years later, Soderbergh puts out a movie called Crash that's about something totally different. How about the John Carpenter, like, and Cronenberg, who used to be a friend of mine, he's sitting there. He considers himself an artist now, don't you know? That whole story about John Carpenter leaving the what are the Masters of Horror hangout group? It's one of my favorites. That is one of my favorites. Aaron, thank you so much for jumping on in, man, and giving some love. We appreciate you. Thank you for being a channel member. All right, guys, I think I'm gonna wrap stuff up here. Austin, that was wild. I did react to it. I appreciate you being respectful, Austin. I really do. Yeah, that is a wild bit of trivia. Let me bring that up, guys. Austin shot me something. Let's see here. Where is it? It's over on Discord. Okay. So, guys, and I didn't check this to find out if it's true. I hope it's not false. But the Terminator's Linda Hamilton married Reanimator's Bruce Abbott in 1982. They met on the set of Nick Castle's Tag, the Assassination Game. And Castle, of course, you guys know, was the original Michael Myers in John Carpenter's Halloween. So there's this Terminator, Reanimator, Halloween connection. It's pretty amazing. A lot of people say the first Terminator is basically like Halloween. It's like a sci-fi Halloween remake, it has elements, especially in the first third of the movie. And it's so wild to find out this little bit of information. That's wild. Oh man. Every time I think about Nick Castle directing a movie, I think about what would have been if he had gotten to do Hook. Would have been pretty awesome, man. Yeah, they don't do that, Jamie. I'm sorry. They just don't do it. Asylum's the best season. Is that the one that has the singer from Maroon 5? Is that the one? The first season or the first episode opens up with the singer from Maroon 5 and like a woman going into the facility, like run down and getting killed or something? Out of curiosity, Davey, which team made you watch football? What team ignited your love for football? Tell me the NFL Davey origin. I didn't like football when I was a child. It's a slow sport, and there's a lot of downtime. And I think in order to love football, you really do have to understand it, and it's something that takes time. And I still, at 44 years old, I fall more and more in love with the sport every year that I watch it. And I think that I understand it more every year I watch it. Now they keep on changing little rules and stuff like that. But really I played two-hand touch football during recess in grade school. And that, football, really all it is like one guy holds the ball, takes a couple steps back. Another person has to count 5 alligators. They have to be like 1 alligator, 2 alligator. They have to count 5 before they can rush the quarterback. But then everyone else just goes out and either tries to catch the ball or plays defense. There's no football strategy, That's just the way we played it in the schoolyard. So I got really into it there. I was pretty good at catching the ball and pretty good at throwing the ball. And my brothers were really into football, but I didn't enjoy it, and it didn't resonate with me the way that like baseball did when I was a child. So I would say it was probably 92. I was probably 10 or 11 years old when I first sat down and really started watching and like asking questions and trying to learn the game. And my team has always been the Washington Redskins, Prince. They call themselves the Washington Commanders now. They were basically bullied by people who aren't even fans of football or the NFL, into believing that their name is not acceptable. So whatever, I still call them the Redskins because I don't know what the fuck they're supposed to be commanding. They've kept the same colors as the Redskins, so I just still call them that. That's my team. There have been times in my life, like when I was in 6th grade, my teacher had us all like draw out of a hat to pick a team, and we had to like predict the score and if they were going to win and lose every week. It was just like a fun little like weekly thing to do. Maybe he was gambling with the information, I don't know. But I got the Dolphins. So I followed the Dolphins for that year, and it was kind of like when Dan Marino was approaching the end of his career, and they were pretty good. So, you know, I watched them all that year, but the Redskins have been the only team that I would say is like my team. And then for college, it's the University of Michigan, the Michigan Wolverines. My father got his master's degree in environmental science at U of M in Ann Arbor. So my whole family roots for Michigan. So there you go. Oh, see, I'm ripping on Asylum and everyone else loves it. I thought the first season was good, other than, Dylan McDermott. Dermot Mulroney and Dylan McDermott. I'm like, Dermot Mulroney, I like him as an actor, except for Scream 6, but I like him as an actor. I don't know. We've been talking about it, and I would love for it to happen, Pluto Gash. I will tell you that. I would absolutely love it. I'm ready whenever. So I'll tell you that. But, you know, scheduling and just everything going on, and, you know, when there's 3 people involved, it's a little more complicated. So I would love it. And yeah, I'm ready to go. Whenever they're ready, I'm ready. I saw he was in that movie, like the Clove Hitch Killer, and I've heard that movie's really good. I don't know if he's like supposed to be exceptional in it, but I heard the movie's really good. I've not seen it. To me, I got huge BTK vibes from it because it's like a guy that's like a scoutmaster leader or whatever that's, you know, secretly killing people or something like that. It just totally gave me BTK vibes. Oh, he is. I had no idea that Dexter's supposed to be on the spectrum. I have no idea. Maybe all killers are, in a way. I don't know. Tonight's the night. Is Dexter back tonight? Billy, we don't need to randomly talk about people that have committed terrible crimes. All I was saying about Ryan, and Billy, I love you. Thank you for hanging out. All I was saying about Ryan Murphy is that I find it odd that he always works that stuff into the stories he tells. I'm not saying that he's out there doing anything. I have no reason to believe that that's what's happening. And I really hope that it's not. Like, I hope that it's just, maybe he's just kind of like a Cronenberg weirdo that just likes to put it in his movies. I don't know. Let's see here. Dylan was at Scarefest. I avoided his table because he seemed aggravated. Oh, Dylan McDermott. Well, maybe he was just... Jamie, maybe he's really happy, but he's just such a bad actor that he seemed aggravated. I'm just ripping on this guy now. Little bit of a punchable face. Yeah. Jamie, thank you. Yeah, Billy, I'm not trying to be a jerk or anything, but it's just, we don't need to randomly talk about, like, if it actually is coming up and we are having a conversation about that stuff, which doesn't really happen here. But yeah, it's a little out there. Hell yeah, David. Which German melodrama? Welcome on in, one of our great channel members there. Yeah, thank you, Jamie. Have a great night, Lito. Yeah, guys, I'm going to wrap it up as well. I'm just making sure I'm not missing anyone. Yeah, talk about punchable faces. But I think he's just in that first episode, right? He gets killed like right at the beginning. Spoiler alert for a show, for an episode of a show that's 10 years old, or almost 10 years old. Yeah, that guy. I saw Maroon 5 open up for John Mayer back in like 03. Maybe it was 04. And John Mayer was great. Like, whatever. I like some of his songs. I don't like his singing voice very much, but whatever. Like, the guy's a fucking killer. Like, he's one of the best guitarists I've ever seen in my life. Absolutely insane level of talent on the guitar. Don't even, like, he's, you know, I would be a blubbering or a blabbering idiot just like this in front of him with nerves, even though I don't own any of his records because he's that talented. Maroon 5 opened up. They might have had their first single out at that time, but it was Songs for About Jane or whatever it's called hadn't blown up yet. And oh my God, Adam Levine was like the most obnoxious frontman ever. And I know why he was, because chicks dig him. But he was just being like, of course, like, you're on stage and you're being obnoxious, but you look the way you look and chicks are going to dig it. I'm like, this guy's just so annoying. And if they had songs I liked, I might feel a little bit different. But fuck Maroon 5. Do they even have a good song? If you can name one good Maroon 5 song in here, I will be flabbergasted. Have you seen the Paradise Lost trilogy documentary series? No, I have not seen that. I have not seen. So I had my little, like 5 years ago, I dove in and like read about a bunch of just like serial killer things, but I've not dove too much into any other like kind of true crime stuff. Like really, Dahmer's probably the only one I could have like a educated discussion on, you know, even though I did like listen to stuff about you know, Ed Kemper, and there's so many others, right? BTK and all that. But yeah, I've not like I've not been one to dive into like historical crimes or anything. But I've read surface level about the West Memphis murders. If they're what I think you're referring to, I'm right. West Memphis murders. There was like a handful of younger black people that were killed in the South, right? Is that what that? I mean, West Memphis, right? But this is an older crime, if I'm remembering correctly. Welcome on in, Foxglove Fairy. Welcome, welcome. Halloween specifically, H2 was like the robot killer in Westworld, then the Terminator pulled them. Kind of, yeah. It's true. Yeah, it is true. Westworld definitely inspired a lot of stuff from Terminator as well. All the screen overlay and everything like that. Yeah. Let's see what else we got. Oh my God. Go Hoosiers. Well, dude, they had a hell of a football season last year. Kurt Signetti is awesome. I love him as a head coach. I hope they have continued success this year. I would just like for Michigan to beat them. You know, that's all. But yeah, I can't hate on Indiana. I could really only hate on Ohio State. All right, guys, I am going to wrap things up here. I just want to shine a light on everyone that dropped some super chat love or shared, you know, a membership milestone or something like that. So Paula Fitzhenry dropping a $5. Ryan Michael with a $5. We got the Wicked Pinto dropping a $5. Australian. Ryan Michael with another $5. Michael Evans with a $5. Jiggy with a $5. Austin Allman with a $2, another channel member dropping that. Rebel Sky with a $2, that's another channel member. Jeff gifted, one of our great channel members, again, gifted 1 membership and then gifted 5 more memberships. How about that? 6 altogether. And not only that, guys, Joe from Media Poop Shoot celebrating 8 months of channel membership. Joe, thank you so very much, man. I'm so happy that we bumped into each other at the Silent Night, Deadly Night screening. Ryan West with 100 joules, high 5. Adrian James with the 80 joules, clock it. Michael Evans with a 1,000 joules loot box. I didn't even know that was a thing. 10 joules from Austin for a gold coin. 10 joules from Antonis Andriotis, who is hiding. Antonis, you don't need to hide. We're all friends here. We love you here, bud. Thank you guys so much. That was amazing to go through and be able to list all that stuff. You guys are absolutely incredible. Thank you so very much for hanging out. Thank you for reaching the super chat goal so we could have this extra hour. I need it just as much as you guys. It really lets me do the talk as much as I can. Hey, you know, and it's just my opinion. Like, I know you know this, Jamie, but like, just because I say something sucks or I say it's terrible, like, I'm not telling you can't like it. I want everyone to know that. Like, I like things that all of you would probably be like, the hell, dude, the hell. So we all have our weird shit, right? Let's see what else we got here. Okay, guys, I think that's going to be it for tonight. Thank you so very much, guys. Tomorrow night, holy cow, I almost forgot. Tomorrow night, I'll be live, 10 p.m. Eastern. You guys reached the super chat goal. I'm super pumped. And it looks like, guys, we are going to do a horror franchise autopsy is what is winning in the poll right now. Guys, if you have not voted, guys and gals, and everyone in between, if you have not voted on the poll on the YouTube community side of everything, we have 69 votes. Nice. And the options are horror news, which we did today, so you're not getting it tomorrow. That's the loser, so I knew I could do it today. Good, bad letterbox reviews, horror franchise autopsy, so you guys would pick the horror franchise and we would do the whole autopsy on it. Or a watch party of The Fly from 1986, which is turning 40 years old, gosh, on this Saturday, I believe the 15th. Yeah, 15th. So let me know what you want to do for the bonus stream tomorrow. I'm going to close that out and make that decision here within the next 45 minutes. So let me share the link for that in the chat so you guys can go over there and vote if you would like. And then if it ends up being the horror franchise autopsy, then I will need you guys to pick a horror franchise. So I have more work for you. I'm so sorry. I know. The Fly is gross, but awesome. It is like gross in the best way. Like, I love how gross The Fly is. I want so many movies to reach that level of grossness. Please give me all the gross you got. All right, guys, that is going to wrap it up for this one. I'll see you tomorrow at 10 p.m. Eastern. Keep an eye out for my Crystal Lake horror news video. It's going to drop tomorrow morning. So keep an eye out for that one. I want you guys jumping in the comments. Let me know what you think about that. It's something we did not cover here. The poll in the YouTube side. Thank you, Jamie. Thank you, Jamie. Oh my gosh, 63% of 36 people voting want me to talk about Jeff the Killer. You guys, okay. We'll do a Jeff the Killer stream at some point, guys. We will do one. And I know that I love it. I love here's the soft nudge. The loud nudge. I love it. And rightly so. Thank you for keeping me honest. Yeah, we'll have to figure out a time to do, to do the Jeff the Killer deep dive, and we'll see who shows up. All right, you guys are amazing. I love you all so very much. Shout out to the Patreon members, YouTube channel members, our Death Squad mods. Thank you guys so very much, all of you. I mean, everyone that's hanging out, if this was your first time or your 100th time or whatever, thank you so very much for spending some time with us here today. Yeah, like, subscribe, all that kind of good stuff. You all are lovely, lovely, beautiful people. I will see you tomorrow at 10 p.m. Eastern. So until next time, I've been and will continue being Davey Deathray. Take care.